morning and welcome to SuperScreen News at 10. I am Olamide Onka. Federal government has issued a warning to the board chairman and members of parastatals under the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the OSGF, not to interfere with the day-to-day running of the agencies. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, gave the warning in Abuja at the inauguration of chairmen and board members of 8 parastatals under his supervision. Mustafa reiterated President Muhammadu Buhari's administration's zero tolerance for corruption, insisting that this stance must not always be compromised in any way.
Governing boards are creations of statute, and their main responsibility is to give policy direction to the management of institutions. I therefore wish to emphasize that government expects no less from these boards. Your agencies are critical to the achievement of the developmental goals of government, being implementing entities.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says its allegation of double registration against Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello has not been swept under the carpet. INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner in Kogi State, James Apam, who disclosed this to journalists in Lokoja, said the governor cannot be prosecuted now because he enjoys immunity as a sitting governor. You will recall that INEC had on February 26th issued a temporary voter card to the governor after applying for the transfer of his permanent card from Abuja to Okene. INEC last year declared the second registration done by Bello on May 23rd at the Government House, Lokoja, as illegal and contrary to the Electoral Act. Now, the Senate President, Bukola Saraki, and the House of Representatives Speaker, Yakubu Dogara, extensive consultation with Nigerians before the alteration of some sections of the 1999 Constitution made it mandatory for President Muhammadu Buhari to endorse the amendment. Saraki and Dogara disclosed this while receiving the report of the voting pattern by state houses of assembly on the Constitution amendment. He also said there are other areas like the devolution of powers, which they have set up a joint committee from the Senate and the House of Representatives to work on areas of differences. He added that in the next few days they will get back to work. Dogara said the President Buhari may have no choice but to assent the constitutional amendment because that's exactly what Nigerians want. Now, the federal government has arraigned Kogi West Senator Dino Melaye before the High Court in Abuja on 2 count charges of giving false information about an assassination attempt on his life to the police in April 2017. Melaye was accused of falsely incriminating the Chief of Staff to the Governor, Yahaya Bello of Kogi State, Edward David, and the said assassination attempt. The offenses were said to be punishable under Section 140 and 393 of the Penal Code of Law and the caption 89 Laws of Northern Nigeria 1963. Dino Melaye pleaded not guilty to the 2 counts filed against him by the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation on January 31, 2018. In a bench ruling, Justice Olasumbo Goodluck granted bail to the defendant after dismissing the prosecution's opposition, which she ruled was based on inadmissible affidavit evidence. The Jamaatul Nasirul Islam (JNI), under the leadership of the Sultan of Sokoto, Saad Abubakar III, has condemned the federal government and security agencies for the handling of the abduction of the 110 Dapchi abducted girls. The group said the abduction of the girls is the most potent action to frustrate the girl-child education. The Secretary General of the JNI, Abubakar Khalid Ali, said in Kaduna that a competent government would have sanctioned those implicated in the Dapchi girls' travails. You will recall that the school was attacked on February 19, 2018, while 110 pupils are still missing. The House of Representatives has urged the federal government to deploy every available security force in the search and rescue mission of the kidnapped Dapchi schoolgirls. They said this at a plenary session on Tuesday, in which a resolution was reached on how best to go about the rescue of the children. More details in
House
this
of
report.
Representatives has urged the federal government to mobilize all security apparatus, including the Army, Air Force, DSS, and other agencies to rescue the missing Dapchi students. This is sequel to a motion moved by Honorable Goni Lawan from Yobe State and adopted by the House. Goni expressed concerns that despite various pronouncements by the federal government that Boko Haram has been decimated, the terrorist group has continued their actions.
We have information right now. Those girls are within the Yobe State. They have never pushed them to anywhere in Niger or Borno because we have a very big forest between Yobe and Borno. Individual information that we are getting, we don't have to now those girls are there inside. And the military are aware. It's just like Sabisa now. It's just a matter for them to go to that place and rescue the children.
Reacting on the motion, lawmakers decried the continuous killings by the group without any proactive measures in place to forestall further occurrences.
The coordination between the security agencies is a given, but the citizenry, Mr. Speaker, that is where us as members of parliament who are engaged in our constituents must come in, that we must engage with them, asserting the true state of this war, asserting the true strength of Boko Haram, asserting the true strength of the ISIS-affiliated Boko Haram, and tell our constituents, increase the awareness with the Nigerian police, because the job of the military is to secure the territorial integrity of the state and hand over to the police, so that the police can be alive to their responsibilities.
We civilians to complement the government effort. At least when they were taking these children in about 4 vehicles along this dashing roads, there must be some people who must have seen them. Why have they not called the police station that is just about half a kilometer to the place? In fact, we all have responsibilities to do. We should not place government alone, but government should also do. So we should provide under the Ministry of Education, provide for these security guards, and also the equipment that can be used, that is not dependent on the network or no network.
A lot has been said, really, and we're just descriptive of the present situation from all the debates I've had. But the truth is, we should address the core of the matter. What have we done right now to ensure that if these terrorists were to make an attempt this night to kidnap another set of girls from our schools in the northeast, that attempt will be thwarted? What do we do going forward to ensure that this national shame does not happen again?
The House, however, set up an ad hoc committee to visit Dapchi in Yobe State and report their findings back to the House.
Now, 5 terrorists and 2 soldiers have lost their lives as Nigerian troops continue to crack down on the remnants of the Boko Haram insurgents in the Sambisa forest. The Deputy Director, Public Relations Theatre Command, Operation Lafia Dole, Colonel Emmanuel Onyema Wachuku, who disclosed this, said the soldiers were carrying out clearance operation when they encountered the terrorists. He said the clearance operations progressed further into unidentified insurgent camps around Chikide and Chinene, where the troops ferociously engaged and cleared pockets of resistance by the insurgents, killing 5 of them in the encounter. Wachuku said as troops exported further in pursuit of the insurgents, as they fled, one of the combat vehicles was rammed into by a terrorist vehicle-borne improvised explosive device, injuring 2 officers in the vehicle. The Nigerian Army is yet to identify soldiers involved in the killing of a 30-year-old Fonsika Kehinde Adeleke in Agbowo, Ibadan, Oyo State. Kehinde was allegedly shot with the gun of a soldier attached to the Oyo State Joint Security Outfit, Operation Burst. The officer in charge of Operation Burst headquarters in Ibadan, Captain Alkaleri, told journalists that the information had no news on the soldiers involved in the killing of the man. As part of plans to empower women in Rivers State, Governor Nyesom Wike says a special law scheme has been set up to ensure women are properly catered for. Wike made this known when a group of women from Ogba Egbema local government area visited him at the government house in Port Harcourt.
Thousands of women from Ogba Egbema local government area of Rivers State, led by Grace Akoloku, commended Governor Nyesom Wike for the launch of the new empowerment initiative and for enhancing security in the area. Spokesperson of the women, Akoloku, also thanked the governor for his gestures and called for water processing plants and more empowerment initiatives for the women in the area.
To appreciate Your Excellency and government for the timely intervention in arresting the very troubling security challenges that plagued our local government for more than 8 years and the subsequent restoration of peace.
Reacting, Wike urged the women to ensure that they take up a habit of investing funds from the scheme into the small and medium-scale enterprise, thus uplifting their living conditions.
We need people to be alive for us to provide projects. If people are not alive, what are we doing projects for? Do we do projects for the dead? And let me assure of you, we will not relent. We will continue to do whatever we are supposed to do to make your life be meaningful.
Wike commended security agencies in the state and assured his administration will continue to work towards improvement of peace and economic stability in the state.
The security agencies in the state have done well in terms of making sure there is peace in Onega. The only place where I quarrel with security agencies is that they should move their hand in rigging election. That is where I have always quarreled with them, and I'll continue to quarrel with them.
The governor also urged the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and security agencies to ensure credible conduct of the 2019 general elections.
Now, about 280 contract and adjunct lecturers at the Rivers State University of Science and Technology, Port Harcourt, has appealed to the state governor, Nyesom Wike, to pay the outstanding salaries for the 2015 and 16, as well as the 2016 and 17 academic sections. The lecturers who disclosed this to journalists said government owes some of them as much as 23 months in arrears.
Speaking with journalists at the University Complex in Rivers State, coordinator of the contract lecturers, Professor Sonny Amadi, thanked the state governor Nyesom Wike for the payment of 3.5 months arrears in 2017, but appealed that they look into the remaining outstandings.
What we are doing here today is to draw the attention of the governor to the painful plight of the above categories of staff of Rivers State University who are currently burdened with outstanding arrears of salaries in 2015, 2016, and 2016, 2017, ranging between 8 and 23 months. This disclosure is coming on the heels of series of earlier appeals to the authorities to address the unfortunate situation and bring the travail of the affected staff to an end. It is on record that sometime in 2017, about 3.5 months of the arrears were duly paid by the government to relieve the prolonged dilemma.
One of the lecturers, Felix Barrico, who also spoke in the same vein, explained that the appeal is coming on the heels of series of earlier appeals made to the authorities to address the situation and put an end to their suffering.
This problem actually started in February of 2016, when everybody's salary was stopped in the state for biometrics. At the end of that biometrics in August, these categories of staff, contra, adjunct, sabbatical, professors and the academic and the technical staff were not captured in that biometrics. And that was when the agitation started, as if we are about to be left out, because we believe that he has not been properly briefed.
Professor Amadi pointed out that the engagement of the contract lecturers helps to alleviate problems of the shortage of qualified personnel at the university, expressing hopes that the non-payment crisis will end soon.
You're still watching SuperScreen News at 10. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll take some business stories. Do stay with us. Welcome back. And for some business stories, the federal government says it will prosecute tax evaders who fail to take advantage of the amnesty provided by the Voluntary Asset and Income Declaration Scheme to regularize their tax profiles. The Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, disclosed this at the VAIDS Stakeholder Symposium held in Kaduna State. In attendance of the program were Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai, the Accountant General of the Federation, Idris Ahmed, and Executive Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, Babatunde Fowler, amongst others. According to a statement by the Minister of Finance, Media Advisor Oluyinka Akintude, the federal government would adhere to the confidentiality clause in the automatic exchange of financial account information on tax matters. The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, has released the Capital Importation Report for the 2017 fiscal year, with the economy attracting a total investment inflow of $12.2 billion. The $12.2 billion investment inflow, when compared with the $5.38 billion in the 2016, represents an increase of $6.82 billion, or 56%. The NBS said the report put the investment inflow into the country as at the end of the fourth quarter of 2017 at $5.32 billion compared to $4.14 billion in the third quarter. The NBS report also said during the fourth quarter of 2017, Abuja and Lagos accounted for over 97% of the destination of the investment inflow of the country. Now, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has cautioned Nigerians to be wary of investment into cryptocurrency, adding that the virtual currencies are not legal tender in Nigeria. A cryptocurrency is a digital asset designed to work as a medium of exchange that uses cryptography to secure its transaction, control the creation of additional units, and to verify the transfer of assets. In a statement issued by the bank, it said cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Ripples, Monero, Litecoin, Dogecoin, OneCoin, and exchanges such as Narex were not licensed by the regulated and by CBN. The statement, signed by the bank's acting director in charge of corporate communications, Isaac Okorafor, emphasized that dealers and investors in any kind of cryptocurrency in Nigeria were not protected by law. Okorafor also said the legal implications of such arrangement is that the CBN may be unable to seek legal redress in the event of failure of the exchanges or collapse of the business. And still on the business scene, the House of Representatives has unanimously passed a vote of no confidence in the Minister of Solid Mineral Development, Kayode Fayemi, and the Minister of State, Abubakar Bawa Buhari. Both ministers shunned a sectoral debate on the steel sector scheduled today to find solutions to the troubled Ajaokuta steel plant. The motion on no confidence vote was moved by the Leader of the House, Femi Gbajabiamila. And the Director of Highways, Southwest Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, Emmanuel Adeoye, says the first section of the Apapa Wharf Road will be open to public by the middle of this month. Adeoye, who disclosed this during an inspection tour of the project, said the federal government has committed to the successful completion of the project, being jointly financed by Dangote Industries and the Flour Mills of Nigeria PLC as a corporate social responsibility. He said despite the challenges being faced, the ongoing construction will be completed in the month of June. The project manager, Dangote Construction Company, Jimo Tunde, said the pace of work is affected by the challenges earlier witnessed on the project. Some of the challenges experienced include rain, traffic, community and stakeholders' demands, utilities and potholes in the road, amongst others. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll take some foreign stories and some sports stories. Stay with us.